Yo, 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 Ella Rebella, and welcome to the fourth episode of Feta Talks. You know what they say, the hardest part of keeping any habit is getting past the first 3 days. So this is episode number four, so it seems like we're gonna be sticking with the vlog slash podcasts. The general response so far has been great. The vlogs, I've really been enjoying them. Multiple people have messaged me saying they have as well. I've got some great suggestions for future topics, so that's really good that I have ideas for future content and things to discuss and talk about. Yeah. So for this episodes, έχω σκεφτεί ότι I want to tell a story that I actually haven't told many people yet or before. Very few people know this current story, and it's something that I'm excited to share with you guys. As I spoke about earlier in νομίζω the first episode, first or second, I was on a ventilator and life support machine for 2 months, and in the hospital for three earlier on this year, and I was in something called a medically induced coma. So I was unconscious, I was sedated with drugs and such, and in my sleep, είχα δει κάτι πράγματα, όνειρα, dreams. So I told everyone the story of the first dream and how I went up to where I believe was heaven and I got sent out my Panagia. And I found a lot of meaning, a lot of answers personally in that dream. And then for the first time publicly, I wanna talk about the second dream, because even on my social medias and in general, even people who know me personally, not many know this second dream. It's it's an interesting one for sure. I mean, it's kind of random at points, but πιστεύω ότι you can find meaning in it because I always remember this dream, but the more and more I would say it out loud, more things will start to connect. Things will start to flow, and I believe that you can find a lot of meaning in this one as well. So, without further ado, this is the second dream I had while I was unconscious and in a medically induced coma. This is the second thing I saw. Ωραία, ποιος είναι αυτός? Ο γείτονας. Okay. Anyways, so here we go. So by where I live in Toronto, there is a mall that's one of the biggest in Canada called Yorkdale Mall. And in this mall, they have a movie theater, which I've been to a couple times over in my life, but anyone who knows me knows I'm not a big fan of malls and even of movie theaters and movies in general. I gotta really wanna like that series or be excited for that movie to actually go to a movie theater. So, anyways, the dream starts off, and I'm in the parking lot, parking my car of Yorkdale Mall, in front of the movie theaters where I usually park when I go there. And very strange, but this is my memory. I'm adjusting these gloves, and anyone who knows me well and has driven with me knows I like to have them even, perfect. So it starts off like that. And okay, so I'm just in my car. I'm looking at the mati, the stavro, the Greek flag, the Greek gloves, the koboloi, and I get out of my car and I proceed into the mall. I go up the elevators and I'm going to the movie theaters. And as I'm going to the movie theaters, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, why am I at the movie theaters? You know? And two, why am I by myself? I barely go to the movie theaters, let alone τώρα μόνος μου. I've never gone by myself. But I proceed and I go and I walk by a poster. And how every movie has their advertisement, the big poster, says the credits, the director, the actors and stuff. This is a rectangle poster, white poster, and it says in four big black letters, Life. Life. And I was like, okay, that's the movie I'm gonna go see, Life. And I go, and I purchase a ticket, and I go, can I see the movie Life? Yeah. So I go, okay, I'm excited to watch it. And before I keep going, like I said, I don't know, I was on a lot of drugs. I'm sure there were so many factors into the trippiness and stuff of this dream. So not everything is going to be the most realistic in our terms of comparing to reality. But That's what dreams are. That's what signs are. So hopefully you can follow along. So I go into this movie theater and I sit in the last row, all the way in the back. And there were these seats that, like we were lying down. I've never been to a movie theater like this, but apparently they're a thing. Okay? And I go and I sit, and all of a sudden, before the movie starts, I go and I stretch my arms back. I go and I stretch my arms back, but by accident, you know how every movie theater in the back they have the projector? I press a button on the projector. I go like that, and the movie starts. And I'm like, oh shoot, I started the movie too early. And then I'm like, okay, well now if I take my finger off, the movie's gonna stop. I can't risk ruining this for everyone. So I keep my finger on it. And I'm watching the movie. And I'm very uncomfortable, extremely uncomfortable. My body's starting to hurt. I'm starting to sweat because I have to keep my arm back on this projector, on this button, to keep the movie playing. And it's so weird because as I keep my finger on it, I have like a voice telling me, don't let go. Don't let go. So I'm like, okay. And I don't know why, but I had this very bad feeling. If I let go, the movie would be over and something really bad would happen. So, okay, I keep my finger on. And then what happens? Well, let me tell you about the movie first. I can see the images of the movie still, the big screen in front of me. And what do I see? I see people celebrating. People cheers, to many more. I see people on beaches, swimming. I see smiles, and I kid you not, this is what I saw. People celebrating. People enjoying each other's company. People just, it's like I see them at a beach. I see them in groups. I see people embracing each other, hugging, kissing, you know, celebrating, taking their drinks, cheers, And I'm like, oh, this movie's all about celebrating, whether it be accomplishments or each other's company. Okay, I'm like, it's a good movie, Everyone seems, they're laughing, they're having fun, I was like, okay, good movie. But then the movie comes to a close and it starts rewinding. Like I literally see it goes and it starts from the beginning again. And it goes, I'm like, oh, hold on. Do I still have to hold my finger, on the button? And the movie finished. But something is telling me, do not let go. Do not let go. So naturally, and I'm struggling. I remember the discomfort. Struggling, and I keep watching this movie of people embracing life, celebrating, just in general, all this positive energy in this movie. But it keeps going, finishing the movie, rewinding and restarting. And I remember in my dream, I start getting anxious. I start panicking. I'm like, it won't stop. I was like, why? Why can't I let go? But I'm like, I can't let go. Something really bad is gonna happen. Okay? So, then what happens? Okay? I'm gonna finish the story, then I'll explain the meanings I believe behind things. So, the movie finishes, or it keeps going. Then all of a sudden, it goes blank the screen. And the lights come on to the theater, and someone comes up to me. And they're like a news reporter. And they're like, oh man, these two people are stuck in their seats. This happens to a lot of people after watching this very intense movie. They get stuck in their seats out of the extreme sweat and adrenaline and everything. I was like, what? So this news reporter who's holding his mic but hasn't said really anything yet brings these paramedics. And in order to try to get you out of your seat, they would bring one of those, the shocking, when you revive someone. And they go to the guy beside me, and they go, zzz, and they shock him. No problem. He gets up, and they're like, wait a second, you weren't really stuck, And he got up, healthy, and he left. They go to me. They come, they shock. They shock again. And they're not getting up. They're like, you know what, you won. And I was like, I won? What did I win? I'm stuck. And they're like, it's a world-known thing that some people get very affected by this movie, and they get stuck in their seat. You're the winner, and your family has won a trip. And I was just so confused. Anyways, the paramedics, along with this news reporter, they pulled me out of my seat and put me on a stretcher. And they put me on a stretcher and they take me to what they're calling, this big sports game. I was like, where are we going? And they put me on in a limousine, but on a stretcher, surrounded by my family and then just strangers. We're all going to this sporting event. And I was like, why are they putting me on a stretcher to go to a sporting event? And I was just, this is the trippy part, like, I'm so confused. Anyways, we end up getting to the sporting event. And, I'm still on this stretcher, which I don't understand why. My family's watching the game, and as we're strolling by, out of, I'm Greek, we got a big family, right? So, out of all the family in the world, out of all my friends, out of all the people I've ever met, we see this one kubara of ours. Kubara in English, I don't know, it's like an aunt that you're connected through weddings and the church, right? But this kubara of ours. And I was like, why is she here? It's very strange, because just random. Anyways, and we're sitting there. And, yeah, so we made it to the game. And on the way from the game coming back, so we're driving, we're in the limousine again, I'm on the stretcher, and I go to my parents and my family, I go, someone is coming to kill me. And random. They're like, what do you mean someone's coming to kill you? I was like, I can't defend myself because my body is stuck to this stretcher, but someone is after me. And, I don't know. Who is this? And my dad gives me these two things, and they're like, bricks? Are they, what are they? They're like two bricks essentially. And he's like, when that person comes for you, put these in front of your face, and I promise you will protect you. I'm like, okay. So, and just as I expected and I felt, as we're in this limousine and I'm in the stretcher, someone who, I don't know who it was, jumps on me, has a knife. I know this sounds crazy, okay? Don't judge me. But I grab the bricks and I protect my body and my face, and he's stabbing. He keeps going, but he can't get through these bricks. And then eventually he gets off, and I'm like, I survived. And right after that attack, the movie ends. The dream ends. So, when I was thinking about this in the hospital, I was like, when I had no voice, when I gained my consciousness, and these were the only two things I remembered. The first dream with Panagia, and the second dream about watching a movie, being stuck it on replay. Stuff. I was like, what happened? I was like, did the limousine take me on the stretcher, take me to the hospital after? How did I end up here? And I was very confused, but I kept thinking about this dream, kept thinking. And the more I thought about it, the more I started to connect things. And listen to this for a second. When I went into the movie theater, right, and I saw, what was the movie called? It was called Life, okay? And then I told you that I had my hand on a button, and I was holding on to it, or else something really bad was gonna happen. What, in turn, was I holding on to? I was holding on to life. Like, κρατούσα τη ζωή μου. Στα χέρια μου ήταν. I was holding on to life. And when I came with this conclusion that, oh my God, like, το πιστεύεις, I was holding on to life, that's literally what I was doing. My body, subconsciously, was holding on to life. And I told you there was a voice telling me, do not let go. Hang on. Do not let go. Hang on. Well, was that God? Was that a guardian angel? Was this, my soul telling my body, hold on? Because all I knew was that I had to hold on until I was rescued, until I was saved. Okay? Now, next thing. I told you that at this sporting event later that I was on a stretcher and we saw, there was a Cubara there, right? And out of my whole big family, my whole social network of people that I know, why her? Well, isn't this strange now? That when I was unfortunately in the hospital and, we lost my papunya, their funeral had to be held with COVID restrictions and no one other than immediate family could go there. Well, on the day of their funeral, when I couldn't be there because I was unconscious in the hospital, out of everyone in the world, this Kubara, who I found out after telling my family this dream, showed up there to the funeral, even though she wasn't, you know, allowed, technically speaking. And she showed up there. And when my sister told me that weeks later after telling her this original dream, she's like, how did you know? Like, how did you end up seeing the same family member or the same person who showed up to Papunya's funeral the day that they left, you know? And it's just that little connection that, you know, was I feeling something? Is all this connected? Which I think it's connected. Anyways, and then third thing, there's a lot of more smaller details, but this is the third big thing. I told you that, when someone was coming to kill me, my dad provided me with these two bricks, which essentially in turn saved my life. Well, what happened in real life? When I was in the hospital, I'm not going to get into it, but it was a scary time, and the doctors weren't exactly on the same page with each other and with how I was progressing. And if it wasn't for a call my father made to a doctor friend of his from a totally different hospital, he's the one who sent me to go onto the life support machine, who made the effort, who made the call to my doctor saying, send this young guy, this 24-year-old, to life support machine. So in turn, my dad's call saved me, just as what he provided me with in the dream saved my life. So, you take this all in, that I was holding on to life, my dad played a big part in saving me, and, that I saw the vision of this Kubara in my dream while I was facing life or death. She was there with my family on the day of my Papunya's, Kidea. It makes me want to believe that everything happens for a reason and that everything is connected. I mean, across multiple cultures and religions, we're told that everything happens for a reason and that everything is connected. And I, for one, truly believe it. The dream that I had was all about people enjoying and embracing life. And one of my good friends, when I told him this dream, told me, he's like, isn't that crazy, Vasily? Because your whole life, what have you preached? Live for the moment. Live every day like it's your last. Enjoy the moment because, tomorrow's not promised. He goes, so it's not that surprising to me you had this dream. And I was like, wow, I never thought about it like that. So if anything, this dream, the movie inside this dream, reaffirmed to me that everything happens for a reason. And another, story that I want to share before I end off this episode is that, like I said, everything happens for a reason. I was told that by someone recently. Someone who I haven't met in person yet. Well, at least while we were both conscious, but someone who can understand me, probably, to be honest, more than anyone else can at this point in time. A couple of weeks ago, and I want to give a shout out, someone by the name of Steven, a couple years older than me, another Greek from the Toronto area, messaged me, and completely stranger at this point, and he goes, hi Vasily, I believe we were on the life support machine at the same time. I responded and I was like, how would you know that, And it goes, because when we were at the hospital, at Toronto General, on the life support machines, my family would come in to pray, and see me during the visiting hours, and they would walk by this room with a big Greek flag and ikones, so they saw your name, knew you're a Greek, they were praying for you too. And I thanked them, and we started comparing, and we started, our experiences, how long we were in the hospital, both in there for about 3 months, on the ventilator for the same amount of time, same symptoms, same after effects, and we really connected with each other, and he understood everything that no one else understood about my experience, my pains, the mental aspects. And just today, actually, Steven sent me something in the mail. He had asked for a match a couple of weeks ago, and he sent me this. It's a coin with a Greek and Canadian flags on it, and Leonidas, the Spartan king. And on it, it says, Molon lave, no retreat, no surrender. On the back, it's images of the Spartans fighting together like brothers, saying, in this family, no one fights alone. Έχουμε τα έξι σας. We got your six. We got your back. You know? And Stephen wrote me a letter, and he goes, Vasily, this coin was made as a symbol for not giving up and staying strong during the fight we went through. Keep this coin with you and let it serve as a memory that you are a warrior, just like King Leonidas. Forever your brother, Stephen. This horrible experience in my life, though, you always gotta look at the positive. I've always preached that. I always believe it. I believed that before I got sick, and I believe that today. You know, it brought me close with another like-minded individual around my age who went through essentially the same experience I did. And God bless you, Stephen, for sending me that amazing letter, for sending me this, which I will keep with me every day of my life as a reminder of the battle we went through. And my message to everyone in this world, because without a doubt, I know that every single person goes through battles that they keep to themselves and that no one on the outside knows. Whether it be mental, whether it be physical, whether it be emotional, family, personal, career-wise, anything. Keep fighting your battles. If you got selected to live this life, you already won that prize, you won that race. You are a warrior. And no matter where you're from, no matter what your goals are in life, regardless of what you're fighting, you're strong. God bless you all. And I hope you can find meaning in that dream that I had about living life and embracing each other, loving life and staying strong as much as I do. So, to everyone, just like I heard in my dream, keep holding on. Don't let go. Don't let go of your life and keep holding on. Bye.